The full auto Paragon cheese for Spider 25 is here. What is going on, Raider Soda Dragon here, bringing you another budget comp for Spider 25. Now in this comp, the only irreplaceable character is good old Paragon here. If you got Paragon, then you can beat Spider 25 on full auto. And yes, this is the Paragon that is in the comp, 4-star level 40 with 2 pieces of gear on. So Paragon himself is not going to be our Spiderling tank. We need somebody else, ideally somebody of a bad affinity and of a lower rank. Less or no levels of ascension matter as well to keep our Spiderling eyes targeted on our Spiderling tank and not on the rest of the team, especially Paragon here. So who are we going to use? It's going to be Armature here. He's only rank 2, he's unascended, and he would work at level 1. He's only level 13 because I've been using him in spider runs. And he's a weak affinity as well to the spider and the Spiderling, so they will find him irresistible. And because he's in the lead spot, Paragon will prioritize casting that unkillable on Armature. So this is all we need against those Spiderlings. Paragon will make sure that Armature stays unkillable 100% of the time. Now we need a way to kill that main spider. This is where an AoE HP burner comes in, like Mordhau. Really, any AoE HP burner will do. And the last thing we're looking at doing, guys, is making sure that main spider does not even take 1 turn. Because when it does, it's going to start throwing out that AoE that does big damage, and it's going to start to heal itself. So we need turn meter control, specifically single target turn meter control. And to get even more specific than that, we only want turn meter reduction. We do not want turn meter increases for our team. No turn meter increases for our own team. It's really important because it's going to throw off Armature and Paragon. They need to be in sync perfectly for the whole of this run. Any turn meter increases will throw them off. Turn meter decreases against the enemy are completely fine. Now Armature here does have a turn meter decrease on his A1, really good. Plus Mordhau here does have a turn meter decrease on his A1 as well. Unfortunately, Mordhau has a turn meter increase plus decrease on his A2. That's why we're going to turn it off. Once again, no turn meter increases, only decreases. So one great character for Spider 25 is going to be this dude right here, Lich. He has a 100% turn meter decrease plus strong version decrease speed in 1 move. Now it's single target, but that's all we need. We need it against that main spider. Now in stages 21 through 25, all turn meter decreases are cut in half for the boss, but we're already taking this into consideration. And we got one more person for turn meter control here. It is Vizix. Really good turn meter control on her A1. So guys, here's your team. Pretty budget if you ask me, since the only irreplaceable character is Paragon here. Literally everyone else you can switch out. And we're using a 2-star uncommon on the hardest level of the spider. Pretty good. So I'll go over everyone's gear stats and masteries at the end, but this is a completely full auto team. So let's go over the skill instructions. So for Armature, make sure that you turn off that A2 so he's only using his A1 here, that turn meter decreases. Paragon, make sure this damage control here, the A2 is the first priority. For Mordhau, turn off the A2 because that turn meter increases and we do not want that. For Lich here, you can turn off the A2 if you want, but make the A3 enervation the first priority. And lastly, for Vizix, turn off everything. We only want her to use her A1, just like Armature here, because that A1 turn meter decreases. So if you have Vizix, but you're not using Lich, especially for its decreased speed, then you want to make sure Vizix does her Sinister Allies as the opener, but have it turned off. This way you still get that decreased speed on the main spider, and then that's it. She will never use this move again. But with Lich, you don't need to have this as the opener. Everything is just turned off. So this team here, guys, is a full turn meter control team. That means that main spider will not even get 1 turn. So this team is full auto from the start. Nothing to do but watch it run, and the runtime should be a little bit over 2 minutes. Alright guys, on to everyone's gear stats and masteries, starting with Paragon here. Now the only stat we care about with Paragon is his speed, and we want his speed 151. That is it. As you can see, speed 151. Good, that is all we care about. As far as books, he does need his A2 here fully booked out, so use as many books as you need to book this out. Onto his masteries, and there are none. So you guys might be wondering, well, why is my Paragon ascended? Does that matter? And the answer is yes, it matters. Why does it matter? So Paragon is not the target of those spiderlings. You guys can experiment, but make sure your Paragon is higher rank and higher ascension than your spiderling target, which would be Armature. So even a 4-star level 40 Paragon unascended would still occasionally draw the attention of those spiderlings, which is unacceptable. That's why I ascended him all the way. Now the spiderlings go for the weaker target all the time, which is Armature. So guys, you can experiment with the rank, the ascensions, the levels, the gear, the HP, all those sorts of things to make sure that your Paragon is not the target of the spiderlings ever. This particular combination just worked for me. They never attack Paragon if Armature is still alive. Next up guys is our rank 2 uncommon Armature. So how have I geared him? I have him in a perception set, an accuracy set, and a broken set. Onto his total stats. So really we're looking at only 3 key stats here. It's going to be his speed, his crit rate, and his accuracy. For the speed, we want to make sure that our Armature is slightly faster, if not the same speed as our Paragon. He cannot be slower, he must be faster, but just barely. So if you have your Armature and your Paragon at the same speed, let's say they're both 151 for example, and you see in the run that your Armature actually goes second, that's not right. Armature must go first. Before Paragon, that is, not first on your whole team. If Armature goes second behind Paragon, then that unkillable buff will not wear off completely by the time Paragon has his skill ready to use again. Therefore, Paragon will find another target for his unkillable and not our Armature here. Next up for our Armature, we want 100% crit rate because with his A1, he only turn meter decreases when he crits against the enemy. So make sure your crit rate is 100%. Now the spider is a bad affinity for Armature, so he will weak hit sometimes and therefore he's going to fail to turn meter decrease. That's okay, as long as the turn meter decreases sometimes, he kind of gets lucky, you should be fine. That being said, a team full of Armatures would probably not be the best idea for Spider 25. Last up guys, we're looking at accuracy. Now technically, all you should need is 200 accuracy for this stage 25 spider, but honestly, I would shoot for 250 plus. Use an accuracy chess piece to help you get those accuracy numbers up. So as far as books, no books needed in either skill. And Armature here has no masteries either. It's not needed. Next up guys, got Mordhau here. So how have I geared him? I have him in 2 speed sets and an accuracy set. So for the rest of your champs, besides Armature and Paragon, we're looking at 2 key stats. Speed over 220, so 220 plus speed, and accuracy over 250. Those are really the only 2 stats that we care about. So here you can see with Mordhau, the speed is at 223 and the accuracy is at 261. So with Mordhau here, I would definitely recommend that you book out his AoE HP burn. It's on a 5-turn cooldown unbooked. When booked, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. 4-turn is much better than a 5-turn cooldown. So you can try him unbooked if you want, but I would definitely recommend putting as many books as you need to into him to get this A3 booked out. And lastly for masteries, he doesn't have any at this point, but what would I get for him? Especially for the spider, I would get Master Hexer here. So this would potentially extend the duration of his HP burns from 2 turns to 3 turns. And with regard to ascensions and rank, notice he is rank 5 right now, but I think he would work fine at rank 4 and you don't need to ascend him. Next up guys, we got Lich. So how have I geared him? I have him in 3 speed sets. Onto his total stats. So remember, there are only 2 that we care about, his speed and his accuracy. Remember, we want the speed to be over 220, so right here we have 230. And we want the accuracy to ideally be over 250. Now it's not, it's 237, but this still works pretty well. So regarding books, you're probably going to need to get this A3 here, Enervation, booked out. Plus this A3 is more effective when you ascend to at least level 3, so I'd recommend ascending to level 3 as well. And no masteries needed for Lich. Last up guys, we got Vizix. So how have I geared her? I have her in 2 speed sets and an immortal set. Onto her total stats, and remember there are only 2 that we care about. So speed here, yes it is over 220, we have 221 here, and the accuracy, yes it is over 250, so we have 290 here. Regarding books, don't worry, you don't have to use any. Besides, we're only using her for her A1, and it works the vast majority of the time even unbooked. Onto our masteries. Now these are not specific for the spider. The only one that really makes a difference here against the spider is War Master here. So we're doing bonus damage based off enemy max HP. But that's about it. Remember, we're only using her A1. So regarding rank and ascension, I think a 5-star level 1 unascended Vizix would work just fine. So remember guys, if you're not using Lich or Physics and you have other turn meter reducers that you want to use, then the speeds are going to vary. The accuracy will not vary, but the speeds will vary. So if you have more effective turn meter reducers than Physics or Lich, then you might not need to have the speeds that I have. Vice versa, if you have poorer turn meter reducers than Physics or Lich, then you might need to speed those characters up to compensate. So remember, depending on who you're using, you might have to experiment with the speeds. Alright, that is it for today. I hope this helps you guys out in beating Spider 25. If you haven't been using Paragon, Armature, or Lich lately, now is the time to pull them out of the vault, dust them off, because they can help you get through Spider 25. And if you guys haven't yet, like, subscribe, and share, turn on all notifications, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.